Hey, what's up guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. On this short video, I'm gonna talk about just briefly why you should go ahead and buy the Apple 4K TV now. You have two different types of choices. You got one that's 32 gig, $180, and then you got 64 gig, $200. I personally advise you to go with 64 gig. You know, you got more storage, more memory. Why not? Download a bunch of games and apps. But my main reason you're going to be buying Apple 4K TV, it's not for the gaming, it's for the 4K movies. Let me just say this right out the gate. Apple 4K TV is the most affordable streaming digital 4K HDR Dolby Vision device. And I'm going to show it to you why. You're not going to find any other device out there that does both dynamic metadata and static metadata, which is Dolby Vision and HDR, for a very affordable price. So let's go to some of these movies. First, I'm going to show you the movies that are under $10. These are $10 movies, and they both support Dolby Vision and HDR. Let's go click through some of them right here. It's gonna load up in a minute. You're gonna see it. And these are pretty good movies for $10. Alright, so here we go. The Hitman's Bodyguard just recently got released on the home theater market. When I mean home theater, I mean domestic release. And you're gonna see the movie, it's $10 to buy, and it supports Dolby Vision and HDR, as you can see right over here. Dolby Vision and HDR. Then we got Spider-Man, also $10, but I own it, but it is $10. Then you got Wonder Woman. Click on Wonder Woman. $10. Dolby Vision and HDR. And these are really great movies. Alright? These are very box office hit movies. And you get both Dolby Vision and HDR versions for $10. You can't beat that. Alright? Baby Driver, I don't know. You know, the movie was okay. But still, $10. You know, can't beat that. Dolby Vision, HDR. Atomic Blonde. It's kind of like a female version of John Wick. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was just a great time. Action fun. $10. Both Dolby Vision, HDR. Can't beat that. Dark Tower. It was okay. Well, nothing to write home about. But hey, nonetheless, HDR, Dolby Vision. For $10. There you go, man. Can't beat that. The Princess Bride, all of these, Baywatch, even John Wick 2. Here we go, John Wick 2. $10. It's a great movie. Dolby Vision and HDR. Now you can get both John Wick 1 and John Wick 2 for the price of $20 with both Dolby Vision and HDR. Can't beat that. Transformers, The Last Night. I have it. It's $10 as well. Deadpool, King Arthur, $10. And you get it for $10, Dolby Vision and HDR. Now, when I say Dolby Vision and HDR, that means that if your TV doesn't support static metadata and only supports dynamic metadata, Dolby Vision, it will only show Dolby Vision. And if your TV supports only a static metadata and it's HDR only, then it's gonna switch to HDR, but you're still gonna have that 12-bit compression into the 10-bit. Okay, so it doesn't matter which format you have. The Apple 4K TV will read either one of the formats depending on your TV and what your TV hardware can do, meaning what your TV hardware can encode. And now we're gonna go back. These are just the ones. They are $10, and they're pretty good movies. These are pretty good movies, man. All right, for $10. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna switch over here, and now we're gonna go to the James Bond collection. Keep in mind, the Apple 4K TV is the only one that gives you the entire James Bond collection in 4K, HDR, and Dolby Vision. And the pricing is pretty good, actually. For you to buy this like on a 4K, on a disc, probably cost something like $300, $400. I mean, not kidding, close to $300. Yeah. So I'm gonna go click through this. I'm gonna show you some of these movies. And remember, these movies, they're only available on the Apple 4K TV. You're not gonna find this any other devices out there. Okay? Nor are you gonna find any other device supporting both Dolby Vision and HDR on a lot of these movies for such a affordable price. Okay, so you have Daniel Craig collection here. You can buy his collection if you want. You get Casino Royale, it's like $14, I believe. All of the James Bond movies are $14. It's pretty cool, you know. Now, I do want to stress out that it doesn't support HDR. It only supports 4K. But since your Apple 4K TV, it's already using a dynamic metadata and static metadata automatically, it's going to compress that movie into that high dynamic range compression, okay? You got all of his movies. They're all $14. All of the 4 Daniel Craig movies that he made. Then you got Sean Connery over here and his movies that he done, and they're all $14. And this is a classics, you know. These are like classic movies mastered in 4K. You're gonna get the best possible picture quality on a James Bond. If you want to enjoy all of these, you know, movies, this is like the best way to enjoy them. Like, this is the best version you're gonna get at the moment, you know, this holiday season. And a pretty good deal, $14, man. Can't go wrong. From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, Diamonds Are Forever. These are all of Sean Connery movies that he'd done right here. Then you got my favorite, Roger Moore. He passed away. All of his movies, Live and Let Die, Man with a Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only. Hold on a second. And you will see, and one of my favorites, A View to Kill. And you'll see it's $14. They're all $14. Plus tax, I mean, it's 15. Let's just say $15, but it's a good deal. $15 for a 4K. It's a pretty darn good deal, if you ask me. And then you go down here, you got Pierce Brosnan, you know, obviously one of his favorites, GoldenEye, obviously. It's one of his best James Bond movies, $15 in 4K. And remember, the HDR compression will be present there because static metadata and dynamic metadata, it is something that you can always leave on your Apple 4K TV device. Tomorrow Never Dies, another good one. World Not Enough. The World Is Not Enough, which was released in 1999. Die Another Day. And then you got Timothy Dalton, of course, The Living Daylights, awesome. License to Kill, I liked him. He was actually pretty cool. But he only did 2 Bonds. And then you got George Lazenby. I mean, it was okay. I guess he was just filling in. I mean, I find it entertaining here and there, but it was just filling in, you know. But anyway, you can have him as well. So you got the entire James Bond collection here for your holidays. You can enjoy your Christmas watching all of the James Bond movies over here, if you choose to do so, which is pretty cool. And then we exit here, and then we go to a Christopher Nolan collection, all right? And keep in mind, you're going to find Christopher Nolan collection 4K HDR only on Apple 4K TV. You're not going to find it on any other devices. You're not going to find this on the Xbox. You're not going to find this on some other devices out there. Apple 4K TV, it's rich of affordable catalog, healthy catalog of 4K HDR movies. Same thing here, Christopher Nolan. You'll see all of his movies. Dunkirk, obviously, come on, 20 bucks. You get both Dolby Vision and HDR. You can't beat this, man. For 20 bucks, you get both versions. So if your TV supports both Dolby Vision and HDR, you're good to go. Fantastic movie. You have to remember, Dunkirk, it's not Saving Private Ryan. What Dunkirk, it's more like a atmospheric tension. The best way to describe Dunkirk, from beginning to the end, it's a tension movie. It's a very dramatic tension movie. There's a lot of tension in the movie, you know, kind of like everything's moving at a certain pace of speed. It's a very epic scale movie. You know, there's barely any CGI in this film. Actually, they even filmed the entire movie on the real location. So it's really, this is one thing I like about Christopher Nolan. He's not a huge fan of CGI, and what you see is what you get, and I like that. Obviously, all of you know the story about the beach on the France, Dunkirk, where the British forces were pushed out because obviously Germany, you know, occupied the France. So the British forces, there was like 400,000 of them that were stuck on that beach on the Dunkirk. Okay, so they needed evacuation as quickly as possible. The Air Force really helped a lot, and that's what they show in this. The British Air Force helped a lot, and that's what they show in this movie as well. Anyway, watch the movie. I don't want to spoil too much. And then you got Interstellar right here. Interstellar. I liked Interstellar. You know, some people didn't get it. I got it. I got the message of the Interstellar. You know, I might talk about this movie some other time. I don't have time right now. But it is more than just traveling. You know, the movie has to do a lot with how far would you be willing to go to sacrifice for the ones you love. That's what really this movie is about. The science behind it, it's a whole other issue. Movies, 15 bucks, Dolby Vision, HDR. Can't go wrong with that. It's a perfect... I mean, look, this is the most affordable you're going to get, okay? For such an epic, great movie like this, you're not going to find a better deal, period. Inception, I already have it. It's a 4K HDR Dolby Vision. Batman Begins, Dolby Vision, HDR. You know, it's 20 bucks, but there's a trick to it. There is a trick. You can buy a trilogy. That's $35, and I recommend you guys go buy a trilogy. Don't buy it separate. Buy the trilogy. There is a trilogy you can buy and get it separate, okay? But here it is, 20 bucks. Dolby Vision, HDR, Dark Knight. I mean, these are epic movies from Christopher Nolan, and for 20 bucks, can't go wrong, okay? But again, buy the trilogy version. Don't buy separate, okay? Dark Knight Rises, same thing. You get pretty much all of his movies here. Insomnia, The Prestige. This one's very interesting. This was his first movie that he did before he even got into the Hollywood and all that. The Following, it's a very interesting movie he did way before he was famous and all that. This is the movie that got him into the Hollywood right here, The Following. That opened the door for him to kind of sneak into the Warner Brothers studios. But The Following, it's a great movie. Go check it out. It's one of those movies you have to pay attention. It's a very tricky movie, but you have to be clever. You have to pay attention to what's going on. Okay, you got to pay a close attention. It's a really good movie. The Following. So you got the entire collection of Christopher Nolan. And you got pre-order movies right here. You can pre-order Blade Runner for 20 bucks on Dolby Vision and HDR. So look, you got it, both Dolby Vision and HDR. So my bottom line here is, I know I said it's going to be a short video. I guess it turned out to be a 15-minute video. But you get the idea here, guys. If you want to, look, if you love 4K, and you're all about the 4K, and you got a Dolby Vision HDR television, 4K television, really good television, this Christmas, this holiday season, nothing should stop you from purchasing Apple 4K TV. All right, you should definitely think about Apple 4K TV. You're gonna save a bunch of money on some of these movies for a really good price. I highly recommend you go pick it up, man. Even if you don't like the Apple ecosystem, but trust me, you're not gonna find these movies anywhere else for this cheap price and this kind of a catalog of rich movies than on the Apple 4K TV. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching.